Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I see I'm actually going live now. That's actually really, really good because I was worried that my internet might be playing some tricks on me. Welcome to a somewhat untypical event for an otherwise Apple and sometimes slightly PlayStation focused channel. Well, we did obviously cover some Tesla stuff in the past. But today we do have the Cybertruck delivery event. Now, obviously, this isn't some kind of from the ground up reintroduction. We've seen a lot of leaks, a lot of coverage. It's Diablo. Hey, long time no see. I know I always stream at weird times. We have 5 people watching. Maybe I should reserve my streams only for really interesting events like this. I do want to cover a lot of stuff in the world of technology. I think that's genuinely very interesting, regardless of our own preferences, right? I do cover Apple, but I do cover their competition. I do cover PlayStation, but I also do cover their competition and gaming in general. I would like to cover more EV stuff, but it's genuinely not an area of where I see myself being an expert by any means. It's not like I'm an engineer or anything. Granted, I'm not that in regards to smartphones either, but I've been living and breathing smartphones since I was a teenager, so I can speak a lot more to them. While when it comes to EVs, this is where I try to be more careful. It's a market I care about. Now, if you guys want me to deliberate more of my opinions on Tesla specifically or Elon, I will do so. If not today, then whenever else, right? Am I gonna do that? But I promise you, and I will try to reiterate that as the stream goes on, that I want to cover the Cybertruck, even though I do have some preconceived notions. By the way, those preconceived notions are not made up. They're based on some early coverage that people have done, basically by going to those events, seeing how exact it is, right? I do have some personal preferences when it comes to the absence of instrument clusters or heads-up displays when it comes to gigantic cars like the Cybertruck. I do have some preferences or not when it comes to pickup trucks in general. I'm a European. It's not as big of a market here. But besides that, and I hate Tesla's removal of ultrasonic parking sensors. But beyond that, there are plenty of stuff that I like about Tesla's. Their focus on efficiency, their supercharger network, their focus on software, though I would like them to implement CarPlay and Android Auto. But again, we'll get throughout it all to everything, hopefully. It's Diablo. Do I have Instagram? I'll follow you there. I do have Twitter, or X if you want to call it. I actually plan on creating new social media accounts for myself. However, I do want to create really new ones since everything that I currently have is personal, right? I do have like stuff that connects to my family members, friends. I want to avoid that without like going to the account and privating some stuff, publicly making some other stuff. So I do want to make an Instagram account. I do want to make a Facebook account in general, but I still have yet to do so. So it's Diablo. I will make it. And if you follow me on Twitter, I will definitely let you know there. However, I will also most likely put that in the community section of my channel. So hopefully that helps too. Now, before we actually get into more EV and Tesla stuff, I actually want to cover something Apple related, right? What a surprise. But I actually think this is pretty important. We are getting some pretty interesting software releases today, which I kind of saw coming, but then I almost forgot that it's Thursday. So yeah, we're getting iOS 17.1.2 and macOS Sonoma 14.1.2. Those are primarily security patches, right? It's about 2 actively exploited vulnerabilities, so it's actually highly, highly recommended you install those. If you go to Apple's disclosure when it comes to the specific information for those releases, you'll find that those are WebKit-based exploits, so basically something you would experience potentially in Safari or something. It does not encounter every device, but effectively everything, right? iPhone XS and later, that's basically how iOS 17 works. So I don't know if that exploit is like present in like iOS 16 or something, but yeah, if you're running iOS 17, which and applies to basically every device that runs iOS 17. Install iOS 17.1.2, iPadOS 17.1.2, and if you're running on a Mac, we do have macOS Sonoma 14.1.2. It's very important. I do like my viewers to always be informed about the latest stuff like this, and I will take opportunities like this to just briefly mention it. Obviously, I do know that most people never really encounter any noticeable security vulnerabilities on their devices, but I also do know that it's better to just be secure, right? Better safe than sorry. Why did I say the last one as a Canadian? Sorry. And the last one is Final Cut Pro 10.7. It releases both for Mac and for iPadOS. Though I believe it's not 10.7 the version there. This one is really interesting because it has something that I've talked about for quite a while. It's about Apple Silicon optimization, specifically for devices that have a lot of cores and even basically potentially more media encoders, right? So that applies to Max chips and Ultra chips, and that applies across all generations of Apple Silicon right now. So M1 Max, M2 Max, M3 Max, M1 Ultra, M2 Ultra, and M3. Well, we don't yet have an M3 Ultra, but once we have it, that would apply there, right? You also get like other improvements, like scroll the timeline to keep your clips in view under the playhead during playback, increased editing efficiency. You can now view both video and audio roll colors to easily see the organization of the timeline. See improved results when using the object tracker that now has an all-new machine learning model. So there's quite a few nice improvements. Now, as you guys know, as a mostly live stream based channel, I don't have that much use for Final Cut, but over the years I've used it now and then. So I would actually be really interested to see what kind of performance increases we'll see specifically on those Apple Silicon models. Yeah, so that's basically the Apple stuff. I can therefore close 95 Mac and focus more on Electrek. Now, I do have the Twitter event already prepared here, and yes, I will keep calling it Twitter regardless of what our techno god or techno king wants us to call it. But yeah, I am ready basically here. From what I understand, there is no YouTube live stream or anything, which I find like incredibly obnoxious. Like, even Apple, like, yes, there was a time where Apple forced you to either go through their website or through the podcast app, right? Or the Apple Events app. But the fact that nowadays you wouldn't even have a YouTube or a Twitch live stream is so freaking lame. But it is what it is. It's just 20 minutes from now, so I think we can actually go through quite a little bit of stuff. And please let me know what you would like to see me cover here, because this is something I'm obviously less familiar with than I am with Apple technology. I'm currently not owning an electric vehicle, or any vehicle for that matter, because it just doesn't align with living in a city like Berlin, where it's really hard to find a parking space and stuff like that. Also, I do not want to bother with charging, because obviously I live in an apartment, not in a house. So while my own like personal experience with EVs is obviously therefore highly limited, it's not like I'm uninformed about the actual topic, right? But I would appreciate some guidance on your part on what you actually think is important here. What are your own expectations? Because I do have some expectations that I'm honestly not sure if Tesla would be able to meet. I honestly don't know if they would be interested in meeting them, because because as Elon said, the Cybertruck will be highly supply limited during the first and even likely the second year. So they can pretty much ask any price they want, make any cuts they want. Now, I do not believe that they will be able to satisfy their like over 1 million pre-orders anytime soon. And I do believe a lot of people will cancel, but I do not believe that the Cybertruck by itself will be like a complete flop. I think there's a lot of nuance here. I think Tesla does have enough market power to basically force something down consumers' throat that they might otherwise not have wanted. I personally find the design rather obnoxious. Just today, completely neutrally, I showed it to my grandma. She hated it, and we are very far apart in age, so this should give you some anecdotal evidence of how people who aren't in the Tesla news bubble think about it. Also, over the months, and well, it's basically already several years, right? The Cybertruck was shown in 2019. I've like shown it to friends. Some liked it, some tolerated it, most hated it. I have not found anybody who really loved it the way that you sometimes find it on Twitter. I also have not seen any engineers actually speak about how this is actually some kind of like industry leading like drag efficiency coefficient design, where most experts from what I see actually put the Rivian R1T ahead of the Cybertruck. Now, I do know that obviously with the giga castings and all that stuff, there is some innovation happening here. But I've also read that like the steel is more likely to, because of how it's produced, more likely to deform based on heat or cold. And we've obviously seen like gigantic panel gaps and other issues in showroom models in a way that we have never seen on the Model S or Model X or Model 3 or Model Y. Obviously, those had originally like some quality control issues, but those issues could be very present in other cars. It was just more about Tesla not yet having fully like brought under control quality control, but it was fundamentally fixable because there was nothing crazy going on. And from everything that I read thus far, it feels like some of the design and engineering decisions of the Cybertruck do contribute to some weird stuff that isn't really fixable unless you fully forego those kinds of design decisions, right? Even just like the bare metal look, right? That might create some glare problems and reflectivity problems for upcoming traffic and stuff like that. Obviously, as I've said before, there are numerous other issues across Tesla vehicles, like the removal of proper parking sensors, the removing of radar, never implementing LiDAR to begin with. But also, even like on the Highland Model 3, they don't even have a front bumper camera, right? You basically have to rely on the front camera on the top. And that obviously creates some problems with objects that are closer to the ground. And that might be a little bit of a problem for a Model 3, right? But how does it behave for a car the size of the Cybertruck now, which obviously is way larger than the Model 3. So there are a multitude of issues, and I doubt that Tesla will give us a final spec sheet that fully calms me down in regard to most of those topics. But I also do just want to acknowledge with you that I'm neutral here in the sense that I'm 100% ready to give Cybertruck the same chance that I would give any other electric vehicle, right? The fact that it has some stuff already missing, right, that I expect to be in basically a premium electric vehicle or even a medium mid-range electric vehicle, that's up to Tesla. That's not up to me. This is a standard I apply to all vehicles, and especially more modern electric vehicles. And I just wanted to really like explain myself here, because I know that otherwise one can look very quickly like an Elon hater, which by the way I am, right? But my hatred towards Elon does not translate to hatred to Tesla. although a little bit, I do hate some of the decisions that happen in Tesla specifically because he's in charge. And it certainly does not translate towards hatred for SpaceX, a company that I actually have plenty of respect for, though I do have some problems where I actually believe it should be a government-run company, but that's neither here nor there. So I just wanted to go through some almost like last minute reporting. I mean, it's from November 28th. Right, basically, websites like Electric are preparing for the Cybertruck event. Everyone is gearing up to see what we are getting. Tesla had some showroom events basically across the United States. Now, this will be a North America only vehicle for now. So obviously there is no chance for me to catch a real life glimpse of the Cybertruck, but let's see what people are actually saying that actually got a chance to look at it. Closer look at the Tesla Cybertruck. Should we be concerned? This is from Fred Lambert on Electric, so all opinions are his own here. I'm just reading it out, basically. We get a closer look at the Tesla Cybertruck with one of the units the automaker is now displaying in its showrooms. Should we be concerned about build quality? Much has been said about the Cybertruck build quality even before the truck has made it to market. We recently reported on how that talk isn't worth much since we are only looking at pre-production units, but now things are different. Now, I would say there have been some situations where I would vehemently deny this perspective because, yes, pre-production models obviously might have some deficiencies that a final production model might not have. However, we do have a lot of like showroom stuff even prior to like these recent, like basically what we've gotten over the last week, right? We've had like actual Tesla engineers basically roll up to some event in a Cybertruck and show it off. In my opinion, that kind of model should actually exhibit higher build quality than even a production model, because it's basically, it should be like completely handcrafted. It should be looked at that it's like perfect for publicity shots and stuff like that. So the fact that we've already seen so many problems, even on those models, that to me says a lot about what we might see with production units once Tesla actually has to create 100,000 of these babies throughout next year. Tesla started bringing Cybertrucks in showrooms ahead of the start of deliveries this week. Now, it is fair to judge the build quality if Tesla is bringing those vehicles into showrooms. Also, we are less than a week away from the delivery event fair, which should mean that those are production intent vehicles. I've seen even some Tesla fanboys argue against that. I don't know how you can argue against that. That is 100% the correct perspective to have. Electric 9 to 5 Max Fernando Silva went to New York City Tesla store to take a close look at the Cybertruck on display. By the way, guys, if I blink weirdly, it's because I probably need glasses finally, right? And actually, I see that I positioned my MacBook in a very bad way for how my eyesight works these days. So I apologize for that. So here are a bunch of high-resolution pictures of the Cybertruck. I can actually zoom in a little. So here's like the actual like stainless steel exoskeleton. Don't like the complete absence of color options, but like here when you look at actually it from the side, I hate how dirty it immediately looks. Even if it's like pristine, that's because it reflects basically everything around it, but almost like it's low resolution, right? It's almost like you're running ray traced reflections, but at 1/8 the original resolution, or at best 1/4, right? And it gives it this grainy, greasy look almost, as if like it's doing those kinds of reflections through a layer of fat. Because here, obviously, this is the kind of angle where reflections will be the sharpest, right? It's also very close up, so that helps. You can actually see that it works really well. But once you take a position that most people would most likely have when looking at the Cybertruck, right? Unless you're inside one, it starts looking freaking dirty. I'm not a fan of the wheels, but to each their own, I think. I don't know what kind of wheels they will ship out. I've heard that it might be like 18 inches, which would be absolutely insane for a vehicle this size. Like to not at least ship 19-inch wheels, but obviously we might see details on that throughout the event. Shiny, shiny, shiny. Some good angles to show off that it's shiny. Now I do obviously have my opinion on this kind of angular look. I think it looks freaking terrible. I think it just doesn't like. I know that people will like complain about like, oh, it's just not like how you expect cars to be, right? My problem with that is like, look, guys, I fully, for example, understand that some design compromises might be made with, for example, like this cover here, right, for the bed. And apparently it will be like move in and out, which is really cool. It even like accounts for some extra height because it has like this angled position that follows the overall like form factor of the car. But my question is like, does it have to be this angular still here and there? And I actually don't know what this means for the drag coefficient, right? For the overall efficiency of the car. Is it really better than doing what you do with every other Tesla vehicle, a Model 3, a Model Y, a Model S, a Model X, and just give it a curved top? I don't know. Like, I know that those kinds of like angular lines on the side can sometimes help with aerodynamics, though from what I understand, if they are like curved, it's still better. But I'm not complaining too much about those. I don't like the side view mirrors, but it's okay. I could live with that. From what I understand, it should be at that point pretty easy to take those out, which is probably why they put very little work into them. Then you see like the gigantic windshield wiper, which unfortunately is only like on one side. So that's already a little problematic. Now, I don't see any problems with the photos. Let's see if there's any like more detailed coverage once we go into the article. This is one of the best looking Cybertrucks that I have seen in the wave of pickups that just hit Tesla showrooms in North America. For example, the panel gaps are pretty sharp here. So if we actually follow like the line, very cohesive, very linear. But even the display unit is not perfect. For example, the panel gap on the front bumper is way bigger at the top rather than at the bottom. Is that here? Well, for one, this already does not look too great, but I guess one can live with it as long as the structural integrity is still maintained. I don't know if this is fully perfectly aligned. This might be just like a result from the angle at which the photo was shot. And then here everything looks okay. I think everything that I just look at it, I don't like the design. I don't like the shininess. I think if they actually put out a matte black version, that would really help the perception. Now, when it comes to like production efficiency and saving cost, that's a little bit of another issue. But even without like panel gap problems, I still don't like it. Earlier this year, CEO Elon Musk told the Cybertruck team that there needs to be a higher focus on quality with the electric pickup because its sharp design and stainless steel finish make flaws more visible. Well, yeah, I guess more visible, but you can also make arguments that there are more problems there than should be in the first place. While I still think it's a fairly ugly truck overall, based like this opinion, I got to admit these are the nicest shots I've seen. I actually agree. I've seen way worse stuff. Pretty clean. I just wish they made a smaller version of it, 6 inches narrower and 24 inches shorter. Well, now we're talking about a very, very different class of product, though. Every little defect is jumping into focus. I think there is room for concern. I have hoped that Tesla can solve this, but the automaker is known to solve problems on the go, and therefore I believe it's going to be rough early in the Cybertruck production. It's not like Tesla doesn't have tons of eyes on it. A lot of people will put pressure on the company over this. It should make things interesting. And that's one thing, a way to put it. By the way, I'm wiping this on this, not on the sofa. So if there are any concerns about that, I'm not that much of a pig. Yeah, I don't actually think they have that much more right today. Like, it's all about the launch news hub in that way. It's at Tesla Gigafactory, Texas. Yeah. We know it starts like very soon, so I'm really glad. Guys, please let me know if you're here, if you're what you would like me to see me cover, and let me know if the audio and video quality is working all right for you. Anybody who follows me because of my Apple stuff, you know that I tend to be like really, really nervous about like quality issues. We're trying to reduce my internet usage a little bit, and now it basically should be fine. So if we go to this actual event site, I'll just briefly put my earpods in, because thank God I got them for $20. Like that, they're really awesome for $20. So do I have to refresh? Okay. No. Awesome. Always love when a website does this. Tesla. Cybertruck delivery event. Yeah, okay. So I hope that it just turns itself automatically on, and then you guys can let me know what the audio and video quality is for you once I actually start streaming, because obviously with that my internet usage will spike up a little. Okay. I do believe we are quite ready. So as long as Elon is okay, I should be too. And as I've alluded to before, you can ask me questions about, basically my own perceptions. In my one of my last videos, which is actually before I went on a short hiatus, I've covered like my, to put it mildly, the fact that I'm displeased with Elon's behavior, with his anti-Semitic and, in my opinion, also anti-Muslim comments in that regard. The fact that he supports people that are openly basically Nazis on Twitter. So, however, as I said, I will try to not let that influence how I actually cover this specific event. Now, once Elon is actually on stage, I'm fine criticizing him, making even fun of him in some ways, but I do hope that you will basically understand why I'm doing it, and that my overall coverage is still pretty nuanced. So it's 9 p.m. now. Okay. Okay, if there are actually like issues, I think they're mostly to blame on the actual like stream, because Twitter is like not really known. Like, look, there aren't even like quality options here. Yeah, like if I go to the Tesla website, to a Tesla YouTube channel, yeah, I see like people like live streaming the event, but not Tesla itself. So I think I am driving the most careful road here by just looking at their event. Like 53,000 viewers, obviously a couple more than we have right now. So definitely something people are pretty hyped for, relatively. Now, this is Twitter, so I'm actually not gonna judge the popularity of the event based on how many people watch it on Twitter, because it's Twitter. People don't go here for like live streams. I know Elon wants to make it happen. I just don't think that this will ever fully work out in comparison to Twitch or YouTube, but I mean, he might mildly, ever so slightly succeed by like basically forcing us. Yeah, they're really going for like the cyberpunk aesthetic here. Not a huge fan of the aesthetic in general. And I also don't think it really works for a car that is supposed to drive down like normal roads. I think you can make the best case for like the Cybertruck probably on Mars. But then you would need to have a ton of solar panels there, because obviously batteries don't really like the cold that much. So yeah, again, it's a look they went for. Let's see how it actually, like, I mean, it's not like the car will end up looking different than what we just saw in those high resolution photos on Electrac, but it's also not like there might not be any surprises, right? Like specifically, like maybe how the software interface looks might be interesting. There might also be questions about like basically, I don't know if we would actually see that here, but like I do want people to actually give us a final like review of like how the materials feel, how like expansive the center display feels. If it's really like a hindrance, how I see it, to not have an instrument cluster and or a heads-up display in a car this size. And then of course I want to see like reviews that actually go into the nitty-gritty, like how good are the cameras, how good is hardware 4 in this specific vehicle, like what kind of features still work while you tow, right? That's obviously has been like a disappointment with like the Tesla Semi, because as much as like I can shit on Tesla, their AI stuff for like self-driving is pretty decent by most standards. I mean, it's one of the best. They just don't work with regulatory agencies to get it fully certified the way they should. But for example, obviously in the Tesla Semi, because it's a new vehicle and they don't have really a lot of data on how it behaves, they don't have those kinds of advanced autopilot features. When you tow something, I understand the aerodynamics are different, the car behavior is different, the weight distribution of the car is different. So it's not like I want to shit on them for potentially having certain limitations. However, I do want to make the point that some of those limitations are self-inflicted, right? Or self-imposed by, for example, by going vision only. to finally have limitations on features that already existed in prior models, or by suddenly becoming vastly inferior to even like half price competition. For example, like ordering a car to park somewhere is really not a novel feature anymore, and Tesla's cars that used to really excel at that now suddenly start to suck, especially once the light dims a little bit and the cameras don't lose their ability to like really properly measure distance, because obviously anything a camera does is only an approximation. It's not like a ultra precise like LiDAR sensor, or even like the exact distance that you can measure with a ultrasonic sensor. So again, not trying to shit on them for every little shortcoming, but I do believe it's kind of like a death by a thousand cuts situation here, where there are problems here out of the gate that I just don't think needed to be here. Like, and especially for like the early version of the Cybertruck, which is where Tesla will likely ask a huge markup so they can make at least a little bit of a profit. It just, to me, is weird to have those limitations, especially in a car that size that really needs those quality of life features, even more so in my opinion than like a Model 3 or a Model Y. Guys, has it started for any of you, or is it just me? No, it's that's the event. What the? Okay, it's on them still. That's weird. Like, I know that sometimes events start a couple of minutes late. Obviously, that happens with Apple plenty of times. But it's now like 7 minutes in. Have I missed something? Am I doing something wrong? Like, shouldn't it have started by now? Like, I started like to talk early, kind of even expecting for it to start really like on time, or like with a 2-minute delay, but it's now like almost 8 minutes. I guess it's kind of like, it's kind of fitting for the Cybertruck, a car that is like years late, and also like fitting with like Elon's timelines that are also usually quite a bit late. So let's have an event that starts later than expected. Guys, I have no idea. Is it really that way for everyone? Okay, they just have a launch party. Like, that's not what I want. I thought they might have like a live ticker. Then I would see them like adding basically some details on this. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm correct. It's just this. Like, I mean, it cannot be almost 10 minutes late, can it? Oh my god. Okay, I'm still connected to my hotspot, which should be fast and should have unlimited data. So I hope I'll provide a nice viewing experience for you, even though I currently don't have much one myself. I can, if you want to, I can make myself a little bit smaller in OBS though, so that I cover up less of the event. I don't think I need to be as big on the screen right now. Let me refresh again. It's now almost 10 minutes. Feels like some kind of joke. Okay, it looks like, okay, it is this way for other. Like, I opened up like a random live stream for some other channel on my iPad, and it seems to be exactly what it is for me right now. And now they've restarted the old animation. Fantastic. We're basically working ourselves up from the inside back to the interior, and then we'll probably have to wait even more. Elon, like, come on. I bet this is on purpose though. Like, I can sometimes understand small delays, but like this feels a little bit like he's trying to show off of like, oh, look how long people will wait for my event to actually start. I almost also wonder if they're really waiting for like some kind of viewer count number, because this is really low now. 100, because when I said like it had like 50,000 or something, right? That was basically instantly after the event started. We're now 10 minutes in, or 11 minutes, and we're at 111.1k. I know that a lot of people are like using this Twitter stream to like restream it to YouTube, but in my opinion, this is just. I think they should have been able to get like at least 200,000. Even at this point, maybe a lot of people just are like instantly tuning out because it's so not ready as a stream. This is taking way too long. Okay, yeah, it looks like basically every YouTuber is on the same page as I am in that regard. So, well, in that case, I can just keep talking, right? I did warn you guys that I do have some preconceived notions when it comes to Elon, rather than actually like his companies. And I just wanted to cover this because obviously he is in like this conflict with like the Anti-Defamation League and all those companies that started taking away ads from Twitter. He told those companies to go F themselves on a recent interview, so he isn't even remotely as remorseful as some people like the Twitter CEO pretend he is. On top of that, he went to meet Netanyahu, so he went to like see where the October 7th like terror attacks were in Israel, which to me is weird. It's like such a high profile visit that you do, even though like you could have gone to like the Holocaust museum in the United States, right? For all I care, you could have gone to a myriad of European places where there were pogroms and atrocities committed against Jews. For all that I care, I think he should also have some kind of re-education when it comes to Islamophobia, because I very, very highly believe that he also suffers from that. I think the only way in which he doesn't suffer from Islamophobia is because he has Saudi investors, which obviously he aims to please. But otherwise, he definitely does seem to have problems with Muslims as well, not just Jews. But obviously, because Twitter has become so reactionary and so right-wing, we see a lot of more anti-Semitism, and because Elon in some ways is a petulant child, he'll just repeat whatever he sees there, and whatever he sees just happens to more often than not be basically like ultra right-wing, like Nazi-esque propaganda. Now, I do want to caution, obviously, I'm not calling him a Nazi directly. I do believe he is right-wing. I mean, he's like a Trump or DeSantis supporter, which is both two sides of the same terrible coin. But that's also neither here nor there. I also believe that he's incredibly self-absorbed. I also believe he never fully learned to deal with people from other ethnicities, other cultures. I mean, he grew up in South Africa as a privileged white boy, so that's really not surprising. And I usually try to refrain from using those kinds of criticisms, because I do believe that those kinds of criticisms can sometimes happen in bad faith, right? A person might have had some beliefs in their youth that they don't hold anymore, or out of their nationality or specific culture they might have like one specific reactionary viewpoint, but in every other viewpoint they're basically golden, right? But the longer I follow Elon, the longer I observe his behaviors, the way he also like markets himself, his companies, it's hard not to notice those trends of him basically being an asshole in many ways, unfortunately, because he could be such a big force for good. I know he tries to advertise himself as like the person that did most ever for like the environment, which to me is ridiculous. Electric vehicles are better than gasoline vehicles, but gas vehicles are not even the largest percentage of the global climate crisis. I think people who have invented technology like solar panels or wind energy have obviously contributed way more than he does. He is still contributing a lot to our hyper-consumerist society. The fact that he's introducing the Cybertruck, an opulent, like, super large vehicle that actually isn't actually that good, for example, at towing or at long range trucking, should say a lot that we're seeing this rather than, let's say, the introduction of a proper Model 2 or even a slightly cheaper Model 3, right? Because this is just something he likes, and he knows maybe the US likes, and he doesn't care that this car is probably worse for the environment than just not building it. My argument for like pickup trucks usually comes down to buy yourself a regular vehicle, like a regular electric vehicle, something like a Model 3 or Model Y, your VW ID models, your Mercedes EQs and stuff like that, your smaller stuff, right? It can go all the way up to an SUV, obviously if you have a family and stuff like that. But once we start hitting pickup trucks, my question is like, well, if you want to do it professionally, like if you're actually towing a lot, if you're transporting a lot, my question is like, why wouldn't you just like, you know, get a regular gasoline pickup truck and use it for your work stuff? You're not range limited. You're not like can most likely tow more and stuff like that. You don't have the same limitations in cold weather that an electric vehicle would have. And then for all those regular people, my argument is like, if you already have a regular EV, which most likely can tow at least a little bit sometimes, but for all those rare moments, and I do believe that for most regular people those are rare moments, why don't you freaking rent a regular gas pickup truck, right? For one, at that point, this car already exists. It's like basically in communal hand. Anybody who might need one can access it. You get it, and then you use it, and then you give it away, and it doesn't take up extra space. There was no need to create an extra vehicle with like a super large battery, with like super intricate like giga casting tech and stuff that had to be created for this. The idea that the Cybertruck is like a win for the environment is like the most weird spin that I can imagine. Well, I can actually really understand why they're doing it, because it's an electric vehicle and it's easy to brand electric vehicles as environmentally friendly. For example, I don't actually subscribe to some of like those conspiracies about like, oh, you know, EVs actually are worse because of lithium and all that stuff. No, from everything that I've seen, EVs are better for the environment, but I actually see that those benefits going away the larger we get. And while we might maybe make the point for a semi, because like semi trucks are just so important for the overall infrastructure, with pickup trucks I would just say just don't, right? Just have fewer pickup trucks in general, be they gasoline or be they EV. That's just my opinion. That obviously would not impact how I cover the Cybertruck specifically, right? I mean, it's one out of now over half a dozen, right? Oh, it seems to start, right? We have the F-150 Lightning, the Rivian R1T and stuff like that. But it definitely is not the kind of unique position that like Tesla's original EVs were, like especially when you think back to their Roadster and stuff like that. But yeah, this is why I hate when Elon is like all like, oh yeah, I'm the greatest guy ever. Everybody else can S my D, right? And to me, that's just like, that's such a childish attitude. Like, you're literally like in some ways the richest man on the planet. You're definitely in the top 3. I think you can maybe sometimes really argue how much of his wealth can he really access at any given point. That's neither here nor there. He is filthy rich. I can make points about Tesla's valuation being completely insane and completely not being backed up by fundamentals, and I would be far from the only person making that claim. And by the way, if you think that my statements about the excitement of this event might have been a little misguided, 20 minutes in, we're still at the same 111,000 that I've noticed like 9 minutes ago. And I promise you, a lot of them are YouTubers that are restreaming it, which granted obviously drives the overall viewership up, but I just think this says by the way, I want to say this not in regards to like the Cybertruck, but more in regards to Tesla, right? Because in regards to Twitter, because Twitter in of itself is not as popular for stuff like this. Is it just me? Did I like misread anything about like when this actually starts? I mean, they did just say 9 p.m. What seems to be the officer problem, right? Oh, I actually see that I've actually somehow accidentally lined up my 16:9 view ideally, which is nice because now I don't need to actually correct it much. I think it cuts off a little bit from the bottom when I do like full stream, but I think it works out still quite okay. I think I can still correct it a little bit in OBS. Move it just up a little. I think this way is good. Just briefly check on some other guys stream because it's driving me a little insane. It makes me constantly worried if I'm doing something wrong. Nope, it's all the same. Yeah, and by the way, like, this is why I'm trying to tell you, you might not see that because it's now out of the field of the view, but we are now at 107,000 views. So if you ever think that, like, this kind of, like, grandstanding on, like, oh, I can push my event by half an hour, basically, without announcing that, and you think that this will not impact your views, yeah, think again. Are they like trying to scare off like skeptics and trying to like say like, oh, you know, only the hardcore will survive? Like a starvation march. Which obviously I'm not starving here. Yeah, we're like losing 1,000 viewers per like 30 seconds or something. It's not good. Oh, will it start now? Oh my god, finally. Nope. That is a meaningless statement. Yeah, I mean, it's the vehicle we have known for a while. I wonder just how far, like, into detail they will actually go. I have to say though, it doesn't matter if it's like Tesla or anybody else. I'm not a huge fan of those kinds of like super prolonged videos. Guys, let me just briefly change some stuff in OBS. I think I'll just make it a little less loud, and then I'll make it louder here. Finally, we are there! We've survived! 27 minutes later! Oh, of course it's Elon driving it. What? Is this really such a small event? Is it just press? Sorry guys, I'll just have to make it a little less loud because the noise is so annoying.
Welcome!
Oh, did he not have a does he not
Welcome
have a
to
nice...
the Cybertruck delivery event.
Ugh.
So,
Does he not have a nice mic?
I'm gonna do it from the back of the truck here. Hey. So once
Oh my god, do they not even have a nice camera to film this?
A product comes along that is
not in
rare.
HDR and therefore it's in
is
terrible quality.
once every 5 to 10 years, something really special.
He tries to like rip
really
off the
unusual
Steve
product
Jobs quote.
Comes along, and we'll remember those special moments when
An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator.
Special moments.
What is happening?
So
My god, Apple creates like those super intricate
these are
productions.
it's very rare that a product.
And
comes
here
along
it's
that
like
is,
Elon filming on what feels like an iPhone like 7.
that people said was impossible. That experts said was impossible.
Nope, people
this
said
is one
it
of
was
those times.
stupid.
We have a car here that experts said was impossible. That
Nope.
experts said would never be made.
Yeah, we
That,
thought that nobody would actually be stupid enough to
it
continue,
really
and I
is
don't mean myself by
most-
expert.
I think it's our best product. I think it's the most unique thing on the road. And
That's-
finally, the future will look like the future. So what we're aiming for here
More utility
is
than a
something
truck.
that has
What?
that's more truck than truck.
Like, it's all meaningless marketing garbage that like most
Thanks,
other
bro.
companies wouldn't even touch because it's so.
Literally my brother there. So, and so what we have here is something that is a better truck than a truck, while also being a better sports car than a sports car.
That's not true.
The same package.
A sports car is specifically
So-
designed in its shape, in
First
where
of all,
its power comes
We
from.
talk about how trucks are tough. That's one of the defining characteristics of a truck. So how
Mostly
tough
they are
is this
big, and therefore
find
they
out.
win through sheer weight.
So we actually had to come up with a special, ultra-strong, Tesla-designed steel alloy. So this alloy, this metal did not exist before. We needed something that you could actually manufacture, but
This metal did not exist
have
before.
basically no corrosion.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that adding
that
like
the
1%
paint,
more carbon or anything makes this an
will make it
entirely new metal.
And
Jesus
part of the reason that it has this angular shape is you can't actually stamp these body panels. The body panels would
Well,
break the
yeah.
stamping machine. So, oh, and I should say also because of the steel exoskeleton, it actually has more torsional rigidity than a sports car. It has more torsional stiffness than a McLaren P1.
So
That's
is it
very-
as aerodynamic as a McLaren P1?
Now,
Is
you
it
remember
as light as
an incident 4 years ago.
a mainly carbon fiber based McLaren P1?
Didn't quite go as planned. And Franz, maybe we should try it again.
Bro, I hope the glass breaks, but I know it won't. Wait, that's a baseball. That's not a steel ball. That's not a steel ball. That's not a steel ball, you asshole.
Yeah.
Wait, are you just throwing baseballs?
Yeah. Great. I mean, I think we could probably have a pro pitcher love it if it still work. So anyway, the glass is tough, basically. That's what we're saying.
Oh my god, this is such amateur hour. I could,
So,
like,
you
I've
don't have to
seen
worry about
porn
rocks
with better
hitting the
production
glass
than
and cracking
this.
the glass. This glass is basically rock-proof. It also makes the car very quiet.
But
So
it's not bulletproof as you originally
the thing that you'll
promised.
appreciate when you drive the car is how smooth and quiet it is. It doesn't feel like a normal truck. It's smooth as silk and silent when you drive it. Yeah, so in terms of toughness,
He knows that there are electric
things like
vehicles out
rollover,
there,
because
electric
the
pickup
center of
trucks out there
gravity,
now.
is so low, it doesn't roll over.
Even Rogers,
And if
it's
you're
a
having an
foam
argument
ball,
with another
yeah,
car,
man.
it will win.
For one, thank you for joining, but like they've literally used a steel ball last time, and now it's a freaking regular, baseball, I guess. I didn't see it that well, but I think it was just a baseball. It's like, and yeah, the steel panels themselves can hold up against bullets. I have no problem admitting that. That's a cool party trick, I guess, for all your NRA fans who want to shoot your car.
Yeah, so
We need like a meme about this shit at this point, right? It's a foam ball!
in movies, you sometimes see the hero or heroine hiding behind the car door.
Jesus,
while-
bro, this is a regular
This
vehicle.
doesn't
It's
actually work.
not a vehicle
you're
for
driving
GTA
a
people.
So, if Al Capone showed up with a Tommy gun and emptied the entire magazine into the car door, you would
He's
still be
such a
alive.
child.
So, and so people say like, well, why'd you make it bulletproof? I'm like,
Why not? Yeah, I know. That's not really an
how tough
argument,
is your
though.
truck? Because the other trucks, the bullets go through both sides. So you shoot a bullet goes through both sides.
By the
of
way,
car.
there,
And,
like, can I
just
pause
don't know,
and
I
then
mean,
continue? I'll just speak.
Sometimes you get these like
Like,
late
the harder
civilization
you make a
vibes.
car, and like, especially if it's not
You know,
curved
when
in
the
any way,
apocalypse,
you
could
now
come
have to
along
also
at any
consider what happens with
And,
like a pedestrian
at Terra
that you
Tesla, we have the
potentially
finest
run
in
over.
apocalypse,
The
technology.
chance of that pedestrian surviving is now nil in comparison to like
I
a
was on the
car
Joe
with
Rogan show, show,
a pickup
and,
with a more
Joe
regular
bet me
front
$1
shape.
that his armor-piercing steelhead arrow would go through the car. He owes me $1. So,
Wait, I thought he did it with like the big podcast guy.
now, what about utility? So, strength is great,
Did-
but is this like
Is
perhaps
it
just a
Rogan,
show
Joe
truck?
Rogan, and they just didn't
just a-
recognize him for some reason?
A showpiece, or can it do actual
Why is
work?
everything filmed on
How
this
does it work
garbage
as a
camera?
real
It's a death machine.
Well, here we
Well,
have the
it's
future
either
showing the future.
preparing for death, right? Like, I mean, it's 11,000 pounds towing capacity. That's less than the 14,000 they've, like 14,000 was the original maximum
Any
spec.
cargo in the trunk
What
or
does
in the
that mean?
bed,
Does that mean they do not have a
move it around.
quad motor
So it's got,
option?
over a ton of payload capability, but you could really put more than that in it. You can tow over 11,000 pounds.
It's similar to how like
it's
their
got
hazard
6,000
mode,
bed,
right?
and
Where
the bed is 6 foot
you
long,
have
4
like the
foot
HEPA
high,
filter and
you can
stuff.
fit,
That's at least cool because
4
we
by
all
8
need like good air.
4 by 8
But like
pieces of plywood
engineering a car around the idea you need to make it bulletproof,
strap down.
and then forgetting all the
So,
other safety stuff, including the safety of pedestrians. That's insane to
in
me.
the truck world called a truck pull. This is really the key test of how much power does your truck actually have. So you have to pull this. 40,000
Even can you make?
pound
Can you let
sled.
me know if you can hear me all right?
And when we went to the track, we said, well, what's the best that you've seen? I said, well, it'd be the Ford F-350 diesel. It was like, well, let's put our truck up against that. So the guy who runs the truck pool said, there's no way. There's no way. It's like, well, let's try it. Let's see what happens.
Wait, what is the task? Wait, but that's the F-150 Lightning. That's not the F-350 diesel. Oh, thank you, Evan. Glad it's all working good for you. Oh, is he talking about like the suspension here? Like, no, it's about like. Wait, I don't understand. What's the meaningful thing they're measuring here? They're all pulling it off. I guess the weight distribution thing here. What? Oh, did the cars like die? Or not? Oh, okay, so they stopped after a certain... Okay, so if you want to actually use this car like a semi, this is competing with the Ford F-250 and 350 Cybertruck tinted parallel capacity, F-250 4,400 pounds, F-350 7,700. Yeah, I really, I have a really hard time believing that, I know that those other cars have way higher towing capacity than electric vehicles. So I really is this some kind of specially engineered test that the Cybertruck excels at? Because if it's so good, why is its towing capacity 3 times lower than an F-350?
It's actually very useful. Now, what about performance?
Oh, that's not a great retro division. 0.335. I believe that's.
You can always have the.
Then the R1T.
The ride height.
R1T.
At low, high, anything. It'll automatically adjust the damping according to how much load it's carrying and the road conditions.
Yeah, the drag coefficient is around 0.3.
That's a true 17 inches. Typically with a truck, you'll get the differential hanging down low, the rear differential. And that's what you'll high side on a rock. But this has a completely flat bed, so you could drive.
Okay, it's a high torque test that they did. So I guess it has nice torque. I'm not an expert on torque in that way, unfortunately.
Off-road capability. It has locking differentials, rear torque vectoring, and the crazy thing is they'll do this all in comfort. It has steer-by-wire, which is, it's one of the things where most people don't know what that means, but it's how modern jets are designed. The steer-by-wire, which gives you variable gain. So if you turn the wheel,
steer-by-wire is not just for jets. This reminds me of when Apple said the 7000 series aluminum alloy in the iPhone 6s is aerospace grade and stuff like that. It's aluminum, bro. It's steer-by-wire is not that special anymore.
And it has a turning circle less than a Model S.
Well, yeah, because the Model S actually has a terrible turning circle. Isn't the Model S worse than cars that are 20 centimeters longer than it?
And then there's a lot of advanced details under the skin. It's the first time that a car is moving to a 48-volt low voltage architecture.
Oh, it's not 1,000 volts?
We have Ethernet comms, distributed controllers, allows for 70% less wire in the car, and it's really the internals are as advanced as the externals. It's a whole new step change in the technology. So let's take it to the racetrack and see how does the Cybertruck perform against a Porsche 911. And I should say this is an actual Porsche. We literally just got it from the dealer, 2023 Porsche 911.
Now tell me which version of the cars you're actually comparing. Yeah, is it a gas car, or is it the?
But wait,
yeah, there is no 911 electric, right? Yeah, that's, by the way, that does not apply to the test. Zero to 60, 2.6 while towing is not true. I promise you that is not true. If it's true, then only by extreme like warm-up preparation stuff like
911 across a quarter mile faster than the Porsche 911.
this is a six-figure luxury vehicles. Of course it checks loss. Yeah, like of course it has like decent technology inside it. Like I don't know why he refuses to like explain which actual versions he tests, because if he is testing the quad motor version throughout it, well, now we have to consider completely different price comparison.
Thank you.
Wait, why did they need a new one? Could they not put this one in reverse? And this obnoxious music throughout it.
Next owner's gonna come up. They should be heated anymore.
Bro, you couldn't like prepare at all? Did he not? Did he fail at opening
These are the
it?
actual owners. We're handing over production Cybertrucks to their actual owners. Thank you for buying Cybertruck.
Wait, that will be like the part of the event? Really? We are not actually getting like... Wait, Evan, you have to talk to me, man. Do you watch other events like this? Will they talk more? This cannot be it, can it?
Absolutely. Just open the... I think it's between Fox. There we go.
You got me the best driver in town.
Thank you.
This is so freaking awkward.
Thank you.
So what's the cost? Like, let us know what the people are actually buying. You have to be kidding me. Like, I know it's like a delivery event, but for me a delivery event is like, look, we've given this car to some people, here their early testimony. This is a beta launch party, not a real release.
Well, as you can see, we've
Well,
got
I
quite a
know
few
it
who live
feels
here.
like it, but after 4 years after the original introduction and with delivery starting now, like,
Oh, wow, okay.
how beta can it can he really
your car?
withhold any kind of reasonable information at this point? Also, is this how you open the Cybertruck? It does not have, like, even the your regular Tesla style handles? How did I miss that? I always thought that, like, the handles were just not on, like, the pre-production stuff. Yeah, I know, employees tend to be the first ones, and they get, like, huge discounts in the beginning. I don't know what that looks like right now, because obviously there was some demand. I would love for them to actually talk about if those are actually, like, employees, because it would be kind of dope, at least if it were, like, regular people. You can't open the doors. Yeah, it's like, this is insane. Like everybody looks at those buttons, like those door handle buttons, and is like, what the fuck did I just buy? So I assume the method here is somebody got into the car, and if that person had, like, a significant other, for example, with them, then that significant other now has to force themselves to open that incredibly terrible vehicle doors. Like, it went to the point that Elon is now opening those doors, and I think he isn't doing this out of courtesy. He's doing this. Wait, are the people in the car not, like, family members or anything? It's just employees driving it? Am I getting this correctly? Because,
Well, this is a delivery event, you know.
oh yeah, he knows that it's boring as fuck.
That's me. Great.
Is this the button for open it? And that's it.
This is the button to open it. Yeah, I think the people inside are employees. Not like husbands and wives
I mean,
and
it's going
stuff.
to be amazing to see all these cars driving around.
I mean, no, not really, not in this kind of line. A vehicle from 1923 would be able to handle the driving that is happening here.
Press this button here. All right. Welcome.
This is... guys, I think I might unalive
This is really
myself.
gonna change the look of the roads. I mean, in a parking lot, one of them does not look like the other.
What? Oh, he means like from other cars. I thought he was dissing the Cybertruck quality control.
Hey, yeah, welcome.
Where's the camera? Everybody's looking into a different camera. Thank you. Oh my god, suck him off harder, dude. Bro, this is boring as fuck. It is also like cringe, because it's not like he's interacting with people, not like he's getting any reasonable insight from them.
Is that it?
Is that? Oh my god, yes. Oh, please be over. I'm eating now out of frustration. Like the speed at which I like go for my chips. I apologize for you British people. I put my crisps, I guess, right? That's what
Alright,
they
thank
call
everyone.
it in British English.
Uh,
Like
thanks for coming
has
to
like
the Cybertruck
doubled
delivery
since
event.
this
And,
delivery
you want this
nonsense
to-
started.
What? Oh, one more. Okay, sorry.
Guess the only thing he can count is his money. Dish. Employees are taking the owners to a room to sign the terrible contract to lease the car. Evan, I love you. I love your sense of humor. Really good. It's like all of this could have been like pre-taped without the awkwardness. The problem is we're now an hour into like the event because we had a 20-minute, 25-minute delay, and now we are wasting stuff on this. The
Alright, thanks everyone for coming
the
to
actual
this, delivery
feats
event,
of the
and,
car, right? The dragging and stuff like that.
Appreciate your support.
For some reason has been
this is
like
really gonna, like,
pre-taped,
change the look of the roads
but
and
the
bring
actual
the future look
boring
like the
stuff
future,
is live.
And it's really gonna be something special. Thank you.
Evan, I like it the way you describe it. It's like the employees are taking them to a room to sign a terrible contract. They're basically like kidnapping them and now. Wait, no. This is over? No. No, no, no. This cannot be it. No, I refuse that. I would take a technical problem over this actually being over any, like... Evan? Please let me know. Because you seem to be really... Is this it? Is this how Tesla delivery events go? Because this is freaking bananas. If this is really it. A 0 out of 10 event, no notes. Yeah. Let me just briefly like reposition it. Ta-da, that's all. Oh my god, that's like a Looney Tunes thing, right? No, this can't. Oh no, it started over. It's 50 minutes long with 26 minutes of it. Look, 24, 26. This is when we are actually getting. Oh my god. Bro, that's insane. If anybody who watches this and watches this afterwards, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, because I'm feeling very frustrated right now. And if anybody of you wants to give me some little pleasure, like maybe leaving a little super chat or a super sticker, that would be really appreciated. Or if you're watching this video long after, you can still send a little super thanks through it, because my god, I'm freaking frustrated. That is like one of the biggest like rip-off events that I've ever seen in my life. Jeez. Show OBS, I guess. Now I just correct the screen a little. This is insanity. I cannot believe somebody actually allowed him to do this. By the way, guys, take a look at this little wonder behind me. Ain't she cute? She's like better than all of this event times a billion.
Is that it?
Is that it? Oh my god, I honestly did not expect it to go this way. Like, why did I not expect it to go this way? I guess because I'm a somewhat sane human and I actually believed something interesting might happen. Cybertruck delivery event, feat of strength 2 truck pull. So I guess he used this event to like show off a specific like feat of strength for the car. So Tesla.com, let's see what they have in terms of actual configurations. They do not have the, no. Oh, there it is. Oh my god, I thought I was going insane. Here, the Cybertruck. Well, let's just say we are in the United States, which I am not, but... Order now. What are the configurations? It starts at $70,000. Guys, do you remember when the original introduction price was supposed to be like $40,000? I believe this kind of configuration would have been like, oh no, it starts at 50. Oh, thank God. I thought I was going insane. But it's just rear-wheel drive, just 250 miles. Oh my God, that's terrible. And it's available in 20. No, I was right. There's a reason why I didn't look at it. It's because it's in a different color. It's because that one is only available in over a year from now. So this is the current starting price, $70,000, which, why did he not price this at like exactly 69,000? Like, come on, Elon. So it has 340 miles of range estimate. They all deliver in 2024. So unless you are like a person from this event, you have like nothing, right? Like you cannot get anything in like the next month, at least. It's 4.1 seconds from 0 to 60, which is good for a car like that. It has 600 horsepower, which is a little more than an all-wheel drive like Model 3 and Model Y, right? 7,400 pounds of foot torque, or feet torque, and 11,000 pounds of towing capacity. So yeah, it's actually interesting because this is what is this configuration? Because they call it the Cyber Beast for $100,000. It has 320 miles. It has 845 horsepower, but is this just dual motor? You can buy it with Apple Pay right away, I guess. Wait, is there like Tesla? So I have like zero. Wait. What did I just see here? Okay, let's go back to order now for a second. Probable savings. No, oh my god, I got so fooled. Yes, now I know. Oh my god, Tesla is lying to me again. The purchase. Oh, I'm so glad I came back to this. They are asking $80,000 for it, for 340 miles of range, with 7,000. Oh my god, this is terrible. Like, guys, this is a car with no adequate parking sensors, no instrument cluster, no heads-up display. Like, this is insanity. $80,000, $60,000 for a 250-mile range. I thought the exoskeleton was about making this cheaper. Right? I thought in the long run this was going to make it cheaper. So what? Are the early adopters paying just randomly like what? $10,000-$15,000 more? By the way, the reason why I didn't even think about this problem of saving things is because this is you can see that option in Europe, but I believe it can never be the default option due to consumer protection laws. And then the Cyber Beast, which now we actually have. Wait, how much does the Cyber Beast cost now? That's the one that won against the Porsche 911. That one is not the savings purchase price. It's a full $100,000, which you pay $20,000 more here for about 50% more torque, for let's say about 25% more horsepower. I'm sorry, for about 40% more horsepower, for faster acceleration, but you're getting worse range. So, and you're paying for this $20,000. I really don't care about the savings. I think that's just an incredibly disingenuous rating to have. So, vehicles, Cybertruck, learn. So, that, by the way, those things are not all on the same vehicle, right? The 2.6 second acceleration version does get 11,000 pounds of towing capacity, but it does not get 340 miles. Right? Like, am I insane? Is it really that bad? Vehicles, Cybertruck, learn. So I guess I can order this in like... Nope. Wait, why can I not open it in... It doesn't matter. I can recognize it. So it's 320. Yeah, this version is 320. The 340 is the all-wheel drive version. Again, actual purchase price. Wow, this is really a bad deal. built for any planet, no paint, no chips. That's not how it works. Any material can chip because you are, especially if you are accelerating up to 60 in 2.6 seconds. It's shatter resistant, which by the way, they do not call it bulletproof anymore. Armor glass can resist the impact of a baseball, not a steel ball, at 70 miles per hour, which I guess was not the throw we saw there. Or class 4 hail. Acoustic glass helps makes the cabin as quiet as outer space. I so want somebody to take them to court for this statement. Haul everything you need with 2,500 pounds payload and 11,000 pounds of towing capacity, the equivalent of an average African elephant. The super tough composite bed doesn't need a liner and is big enough for 4. Sorry, my Apple Watch just went off. And is big enough for 4x8 construction materials. Would you really do that in a vehicle that doesn't give you always 300 miles? That was my question. It's a 6x4 bed, plus even more room in the front trunk, which is actually interesting because they are really not trying to show off too much of the front, right? Yeah, like even here, right? You can see that it's open, but we do not get a perspective from it right away. Load it up, lock it up. Yeah, I don't care about this. Into the wild, travel up to 340 miles, and they don't even have a 400-mile range. Look, Rivian. Let's look at what Rivian has to offer. I believe Rivian has now really attractive dual motor version, right? Because they now make their own motors. So let's look at the R1T, even though I believe the R1S is a better vehicle. Shop now. Yeah, I mean, whatever, like... one infinite... loop Cali. What zip code is that? 95014. 95014. Select it. Okay, I just want blue, whatever. So a quad motor is 91,000 all-wheel drive. Wait, where's the dual motor? I thought the dual motor was now the option to go. A performance model here, dual motor all-wheel drive. Wait, why don't I see? Oh, it's about me not being able to get one. I get it. I hate it when websites lock me out of just like. Why can't I just see the general way, like the way it pays? Reserve a custom build. Maybe that helps. Yeah, okay, 4 months or less. Due today would be $1,000. Oh my god, like, I hate it when websites do that. So maybe one website has like this Rivian R1T pricing. Yeah, so Rivian does have a 400-mile option. Dual motor, all-wheel drive, 600 horsepower, so that's the same as like Tesla's. Wait, it's what is actually the configuration that Tesla starts at? How much power does that have? They do not even mention like the power of this model. My god, this is so disingenuous. Is it because it could be subject to change because it will only launch in 2025, guys? I have like a really unhappy girl behind me. She hates it when I talk for too long. So I guess the most relevant comparison would probably be the $80,000 version. Prices. So dual motor, all-wheel drive. Yeah, it's around $82,000. base price, and then oh yeah, it depends a little bit on like the wheels that you get. Oh my god, guys, I would get the R1T in a heartbeat. Like, are you kidding me? R1T, Rivian R1T, dual motor. Yeah, it came out like recently. Yeah, I think it might really be the best pickup truck by a long shot. Rivian accelerates dual motor production. Yeah, delivers, I'm sorry. So the new performance dual motor has 665 horsepower, 830 pound-feet of torque, which if you look at this, it's wait, what? Okay, I have no idea if I'm misreading it. Something about the torque, because I highly doubt that the Tesla is like 10 times better. The drive system can also achieve an EPA estimated 352 miles of range, so it's better than Tesla in so many ways. Reserve in R1T. Like, come on. Like, I don't want to give you my email here. Let's just see what Electrek says. Maybe they like... My god, does this really work as like an event? Like, this is insulting. Amazing, a 15 miles per hour baseball didn't break the window. Like every other car window. Well, at least some people here have some common sense. Comments? Amazing, okay. A classic Musk launch, late and underwhelming. 23 minutes off schedule and counting. It was almost 27 minutes off schedule. I love the little Tesla Easter egg of starting the event nearly half an hour late, referencing how it took them years longer to deliver the truck than initially promised. The Cybertruck has a front bumper camera, so at least that seems to be better rather than the Model 3 Highland, which means 360-degree parking cam for the first time in a Tesla. Tri-motor Cyber Beast. So some people were like somewhat close in like their predictions, I guess. Yeah, and I'm glad people are actually giving the correct pricing here, not like with the stupid savings. So much dog and pony show, so little substance. What an embarrassment. Are the headlights on? Not much illumination. Fred, sorry to change the subject. I saw this Cybertruck last week in San Diego. It's quite impressive whether you love or hate the styling. I hate it. I noticed the photo at the top of a Cybertruck at a supercharger, and lately I've been paying more attention to Tesla supercharger layouts, and those are third parties. Now picture a Cybertruck lighting Hummer EV with a trailer. How would you feel seeing 6 to 8 stalls blocked by one EV with a trailer? Not a pretty picture. Yep, that's a big problem with like pushing electrification towards vehicles that clearly are not really suited for it. I think this thing has a surprisingly small battery when all is said and done. I think that base configuration might be at like 100 like kilowatt hours. And then the upper one might be like 130 or something. Maybe it could be as low as 90 and like 120. Who knows? That's terrible. Like, guys, look, they said so little that like an EV focused website is not even covering it. This is so like... So I know the Ford is not really well priced, but like... Ford F-150 Lightning pricing. Please tell me. Now, I don't know, like, this will be, like, 95014. Okay. So this one starts at 8,000, at $9,000 less than the cheapest Tesla version, which will only ship in 2025. So this one is most well. I guess you would have to add some dealership cost over it, and yeah, here you have to pay like more for like a cash price. But what are the actual specifications? Oh no, those are actually different configuration, right? So that starts with 240 miles and for way less money. Wow. So my God, even reuse it. Like the fact that this gets you like, I know that like it goes up to 320, which the Tesla goes up to 340, but like, come on, this car is actually out, right? Models. So let's look at the Lightning Platinum, which is, I believe, will be severely less powerful than the Tesla, but it's also like $10,000 less. Yeah, so this version I would actually put in as worse in many ways than the Tesla here. Where is it? Because it obviously has to compete with this one. This one has more towing capacity. I believe this one has also more horsepower, and it has more weight. Wait, is this three? Yeah, this is 300 versus 320. So in this case, I guess I could give it to Tesla here. But again, we are still talking about like quality of life features that this will have that Tesla won't. And actually, when you look at something like Blue Cruise, for example, in Germany, that is now one of the few self-driving systems that actually is allowed to do a lot of like self-driving here on the roads. But here, this is actually a very interesting model because $70,000, that makes it cheaper than even the all-wheel drive version by $10,000. So and it has like two models. Okay, so this is where build and price, where like the specifications here. View. Oh, okay. I can only go by local inventory. I hate it when cars do that. Some models lease at view all offers. Okay, so please give me some specifications. Oh God. F-150 Lightning pricing versus R1T. I guess then we would have like the most relevant competitors right on one side. This is in August, so this should include the new dual motor version of the R1T. Pricing. The Rivian R1T is available right now. However, Rivian notes that delivery may take 16 weeks. It starts at $80,000 for the base model and ranges up to $87,000 for the quad-modal all-wheel drive model. Has it seen a price increase? Because we just saw it being $91,000. And then F-150 has like a ton of different configurations between $52,000 to $100,000. I believe this is like the matte black version. But supposedly on pricing, the Ford wins. But the Ford is not a really that modern car, unfortunately. Like, do we really have nothing for like a proper breakdown? Is it because the US has like terrible dealership pricing? Start at 73K. You can add upgrades like the large battery or max battery. Oh, right. Yeah, you can configure that. Rivian.com. R1T. Capabilities. This is so. I explore options. What does it say? Does it tell me how I should? Oh, there it is. Oh my god! Thank God. So let's say. Yeah, with 3 seconds, it's not that far off. In terms of horsepower, let's just configure it to the max, I guess. 87,000. That's the large pack with. Yeah, this is really, really price competitive, and it actually comes in a good-looking car with a instrument cluster, with like, with paint. You can pay a little extra for something other than this, but I actually like the silver. Yeah, who would pay extra here? I guess a lot of people like the green for a Rivian, and then it starts with 21-inch wheels, which is, I believe, larger than what the Cybertruck comes with. And can I really... Like, if I go to, like, this, I really cannot even see, like what kind of, like, wheels it comes with? Is it really... Oh my god, I hate how much Tesla obfuscates in that regard. So here it's like, wait, build and price. Can I just configure something here? Oh yeah, I can. Oh, and I can actually add like even the battery that I want to them. Wait, that's cool. So let's just configure it with this one with the extended battery and then see the details. I believe that's, yeah, the extended version has 320 miles, which is not that far off from what the Cybertruck offers. And if I see that, that still is 320. I kind of assumed it might actually go down a little with more performance. Wait, how much power does it have? Packages, power and handling, 4x4, dual electric motors, regenerative braking system, safety, start your build. Wait, color, dual motor, extended battery. It's either 452 horsepower or this one is 580 horsepower. So if we actually go back to the Tesla, yeah, 600 horsepower for the more sensible version, right? So they're actually, all those vehicles are they're all cheaper, I guess, unless you consider that they can be like configured like a little bit more premium, right? Like with better colors or stuff like that, and with like, I believe, a more premium interior. But like overall, I actually think that both this and the R1T are better deals. Thankfully, I finally found the right website. So the Platinum, what's actually... Okay, so the Platinum has the same 580 horsepower. And how large is the battery here? It's rated for 320 miles. Okay, that's oh, and it goes down for to 300 for the Platinum. So in that way, this is where Tesla actually wins, but it also costs just as much, and I believe it's a less nice looking and feeling vehicle in every way. But yeah, this is where you'll get a lot of oomph, right? More horsepower, a little bit more range, but $100,000 for a pickup truck. Come on. Like, I wouldn't pay that one for the Platinum, and the Platinum is like a premium version anyway, right? If we go back, oh well, no, the Platinum starts actually at $8,000 less, so that works in its favor, I guess. But you can get most of it from the Lariat for significantly less, right? You get like your dual motor with extended range, so you get your 580 horsepower. When 10, yeah, guys, I don't know how to like compare the torque values. Like, I'll leave that to like experts. Like Lariat, can I save money here? Okay, oh, it depends on the configuration. So yeah, overall, I would say that Cybertruck, when you just compare like performance and battery range, it's actually pretty in line with the pricing of the F-150 and the Rivian, right? But just look at how much better this interior looks, right? Just so you know, this is how much we get to see of the Cybertruck interior from Tesla. Vehicles, Cybertruck, learn more. Yeah, so we basically get like almost 0 shots of the interior. Here it is, right? You cannot tell me that this, with like the Vogue, right, the mix of a regular steering wheel and the yoke, like one screen and then like this one continuous line in comparison to Rivian, which, let me just close a lot of the stuff here. Right? Look how much nicer this looks. Oh my god, I'm loving it already. A regular steering wheel, a real instrument cluster. Yeah, this isn't even close. My god, like Tesla really screwed themselves, I believe, in what they tried to go here with. I know The Verge usually covers like Tesla stuff pretty quickly. Tesla Cybertruck starts at $61,000. Could get up to 340 miles of range. That is for the more expensive version. Coming sooner, yep. The angular stainless steel electric truck has long fascinated fans of Tesla, but its many delays have led some to question whether the truck would ever actually arrive. Blah blah blah, polarizing design. Tesla said that they might produce 250K by 2025. 1 million pre-orders. Competitors F-150 Lightning, Rivian R1T. From a sales perspective, the CT could end up being a huge hit. Let's see. I don't know. What are people saying? This is a failure of a launch. My god, literally nothing is promised and years late. 12 people isn't even newsworthy in my opinion. That's a massive price increase. My shitty basic Equinox gets me from Irvine to Lone Pine and back in one tank of 91 octane gas, and that thing was 22K out the door. Can you imagine blowing 60K for the gaudiness of a Cybertruck? 40 versus 60K. I didn't know inflation was up 50% in 4 years. Hashtag Muskonomics. Muskonomics? No, I think it would be Muskonomics, right? Yeah. It is terrifying how fast this tank can go. Okay, that's a good one. The price is definitely steep for the cost of a dual motor. I could never see myself choosing this over a Rivian. That's the problem. The prior pricing made sense. This pricing squeezes Tesla on both sides and already was going to have problems due to its design. I don't think they will ever roll this shit out outside the United States, to be honest. Like maybe the premium version. It's like a one-off. Once like they satiate supply demand in the US, 60 grand for two-wheel drive and 250 miles of range, like a non-starter, and that's 250 miles without load. Yeah, that's absolutely correct, and probably in decent weather. In an earnings call in October, Musk said demand was off the charts, noting that over 1 million people have paid $100, by the way, very important, in a refundable deposit to reserve the Cybertruck. A refundable deposit is not demand, it's simply interest. Also, those 1 million people put down a deposit for a $40,000 vehicle. Well, I would say they put down a deposit for a $60,000 vehicle. Right, but then for like the tri-motor or something, right? Or at least like the performance dual motor version, like just rear-wheel drive for 60K. I mean, it makes sense with the kind of pricing that Tesla wanted to demand for like the Model Y for a while, but yeah, this is insane. Guys, I was 100% correct. This is now a part of Tesla that I actually hate. Because as I said, I think they actually make decent cars for the most part. I think Elon is more of the problem, but I think this car has Elon so hardcore written all over itself that I honestly believe that he 100% ruined it. I expected everything to be around $10,000 less than it currently is. This is why I was actually pleasantly surprised to have my expectations met when I originally saw like the cost with the savings, right? But because here, like $50,000, oh, that's a $10,000 price increase. Yes, 250 miles is less than expected, but maybe it will work. But like the Cyber Beast, like I guess you could make the point that it's like interesting with like a high top speed and really fast acceleration, but why would you pay more to give up? By the way, look at this potential probable saving stuff. This is because of the federal tax credit, right, of $7,500, which probably doesn't affect this. This is why the savings here are just $3,000 based on the fact that it's like an EV, I guess. And here you can actually save money with the federal tax credit and stuff. However, the problem here is that basically every other car like the Ford F-150 and the R1T that compete in that segment are also eligible for that kind of discount. So those probable savings are not real, right, in comparison to every other vehicle. So maybe with the probable savings it could make sense in the US, though those savings probably wouldn't put you all the way down by $11,000. That's rather large. Maybe with like specific also like state based incentives, right? I put down a, well, I didn't put down a, well, I believe I put down a California zip code for the Tesla website, but that's neither here nor there. I've gotten confused from this because the event was short, the way it was executed was crap, and they didn't provide much more info on the website. They're still obfuscating a ton of shit. I'm incredibly displeased. I'm glad that I watched this because now I know that I'll probably never trust Tesla with anything again. And the next time I'll do something like this, I'll be very, very ready to rip them to shreds. Yeah, the good faith will be here again if they deserve it again. For now, they've completely lost it. This was terrible, and I just cannot believe that anybody allowed Elon to plan an event in this capacity. Guys, I will be very happy to move back to Apple topics or PlayStation topics maybe with my next piece of content. I've said that like I might stream maybe tomorrow or the day after that. This was before I knew I would be streaming today. So I'll see how my plans go. But maybe I'll make a short video depending on what kind of news we get in the next couple of days. Regardless, thank you guys so much. We regained most of the subscribers we lost during my short hiatus. Hopefully in a week or two we are beyond those numbers. I know it's kind of a little bit of a dry season for like smartphone content now. We are beyond Techtober now. We are hitting now Christmas December and holiday December in general. That being said, yeah, please don't buy the Cybertruck. I know most of my viewers aren't from the US anyway, but it's a piece of crap regardless. It's unfairly priced, and Elon couldn't even be bothered to plan a nice event for you guys. So have some self-respect. Say no to being treated this way. Thank you so much. I'll hope to see you next time. I really appreciate all your support. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the YouTube jazz as I call it. And I'll see you next time.